was about the grind, bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. What's up, Nasties? How you doing? It's Tuesday. It's pretty nice outside. Coming to you live from the William Huff Studios. It is EST Afternoons, of course. Part of Edmonton Sports Talk. Presented by Play Alberta. It's Joaquin Gage, Zachary Koob Kubusch, Hernan Salas. What's shaking out there? How the vibes? I still haven't recovered from the chat from last night, man. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I listened. I didn't see your face, but I could hear the disdain in your voice.
It was pretty bad. But, I mean, they got their butts kicked.
It's funny how, why, in a game like that you automatically look to the goaltender and say, well, if they would have had goaltending, they would have been in it. They scored one goal.
Because that's all they got, Gager. It's the people on Skinner. That's the only argument. Every loss, you can't. No one looks at Paul Colson's turnover. No one looks at
give the puck away.
Yeah, John Klimber going -3. And I don't know why he switched the second and third pairings. They struggled mightily. Leon Draisaitl had 0 shots on net. The power play wasn't good.
Connor had a good look in was it the first? Couple good looks. But, again, like nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Listen, goaltending is a part of it when you lose 6-1. 100%. But the whole team was bad. There's not one player you can, maybe Corey Perry.
But I'm saying even if Skinner is at the top of his game, they're still losing that game. Like he would have to shut them out. You're not, and we talked about the Verhaeghe shot. It's perfect.
It's a great shot.
It's a perfect shot.
And a guy who's doing the game, who was a pretty damn good goal scorer, and Craig Simpson played with some of the greatest players to play the game. He said, "That's a snipe.
Yeah,
it's a goal scored goal."
If anyone on the Oilers is doing that, unstoppable. But. And I mean, I critique the goal as it was, as I saw it. Like Stuart Skinner was a little bit too far back in his net.
First goal was bad.
Swimming,
yeah.
But it was kind of one of those plays where I think what he thought, it bounced around and it looked like the shot was coming right from there because he bolted out to try to make himself big, and then it scoots out to.
Marchand. Anyway. And it's a lucky bounce. It lands right on his stick.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta, that's why there's gotta be context to it. And yes, you can be upset with the Oilers. They were awful last night. That's their worst game since game 2 of round 1, Gager. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that. It happens. They haven't won squat. They're up 2-1. Game 4, the Oilers, I mean, I can't see them being any worse. They're going to be better. What have we seen from this team when their backs up against the wall?
There's a lot. I wanted to ask you today, just looking at it from the Panthers' perspective, how do you think they played yesterday?
Thought they played good, smart. The great Lieutenant Eric made a good point to me in the second period. He said the Oilers lost the street fight. And I have no issues with what happened in the third. Every team that's down 6-1 in the playoffs is going to do the same crap.
Yeah.
Every team. Okay. So this is not an Oiler thing, and not be on our high horse thinking the Oilers are the only team that Florida would have did the same thing. Okay. What Florida did though, because you noticed it in the first period, Joaquin, the Oilers were getting already frustrated 10 minutes in. They were laughing at them.
Oh yeah.
They were sucking them in.
Yeah.
Kachuk said it post game. We said it in our room. Take a punch if you have to. Take a slash if you have to. We're smarter.
Yeah.
But
they invite the hacks, the whacks, the slashes.
They love it.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't mind that the Oilers went that route, but I don't think they can keep going that route because you're not going to out-rat.
They're not built
the
like
Florida Panthers.
They're not built that way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm not saying the Oilers aren't mean. They can play a mean, nasty game too, but the Panthers have they're like the little yippy dogs behind the fence.
Well, Marchand looked at their bench and said, "We're smarter."
Yeah.
So they sucked in the Oilers. The Oilers went full in, which is for one game fine. They can't do that again in game 4.
They do it again, it's a game over.
Yeah.
Just give them the cup.
The Oilers got to do what Florida did yesterday. With
in a different way, though.
Between the whistles, drop it. Skate away, laugh at them, make them pissed off. But I thought Florida did an excellent job, and it started early because you saw the Oilers losing it. And when Tkachuk and Bennett, Marchand, and Ekblad are sitting on the bench and they have smiles on their face, and you're chirping them and they're just laughing at you, they got you, man.
Yeah.
They got you. And I think that's what happened. And listen, again, too many penalties. Evander Kane, I understand why Tom was frustrated with him because before the game he said, I can't be taking 2, 5, and 10. I got to be smart. He goes out there and takes 2 penalties, hockey penalties. I mean, he didn't go out of his way, but they're penalties. Yeah. Then after the game, he says, well, he's kind of going the other way. So it's like, man, like more discipline for this team because their PK stinks. Now, they took... the score, she says 11 power plays for Florida, but that was all at the end, right?
Yeah.
But they still scored 3 goals, guys. And the Oilers got it. I like that they're aggressive. I like that they're not backing down, but you can't do what you did last night. You can't get sucked in like they did because they were furious. But you saw that line brawl at the end. AJ Greer gave it to Ekholm. Ekholm won in no part. Mm-hmm. I think Nurse was surprised by Gadjevic's strength.
Yeah.
Because that was a good tilt.
Bennett, you can always tell when the other guy's laughing and smiling, you've hit the guy pretty good a few times.
Yeah, Bennett took some vicious cross-checks from Frederick, and then Frederick falls, lines on the top of him, Bennett's feeding him cheap shots.
I know, yeah.
So did you really...
what did it do?
Yeah, but again, I think we can all agree, like, the game was going to turn that way. Every team would do it. It's 6-1. You knew it was over. We're going to try to hear from Leon. I think he spoke earlier today. I don't think the clips are out yet, but we'll hopefully get Leon for the second hour. But all in all, Joaquin, just not good enough. I mean, we're seeing the Oilers make mistakes they're making early on in the playoffs in those games against LA. Bad turnovers at the blue line. You're seeing the Oilers defensemen struggling making plays now in their own zone. The special teams continue to be like the power play, Gage, are 1 for 6, not good enough. So you're seeing a little bit of a dip in a lot of areas for the Oilers, and they got to turn this around fast. I think they can.
Yeah. But it's, again, that keyword discipline. It's not just the stinky gloves, the hacks to the back of the legs and stuff. The way that the Florida Panthers play is frustrating. Yeah. They frustrate the opposition with their forecheck, with, their responsibilities with the puck. You don't see them try, cross ice sauce passes across the blue line trying to get it over a guy's stick, right? They're very disciplined in the way that they approach the game. And the Oilers showed that they could do that. One of the main reasons why they got through 3 rounds of hockey was their ability to stay disciplined with their decision makings with and without the puck for the first 3 rounds. But now they're playing a team that's just as good at it as they are. They have to find a way to stay the course, stay on that line. And like you said, like Tkachuk said, if it takes a hack or a whack, you can't be turning around looking, who did that?
Yeah.
Who did that? I'm going to get you.
Take it, sell it.
Look at it, see the number. Next time you have a chance, you lay the booms.
And that's what I mean. Like, and to the officials, listen, the Oilers didn't lose 6-1 because of the officials. The officials are awful.
Yeah, but that's, you know what? They're consistently inconsistent. Yeah. So just put it in Sharpie on the board. That's the way it's going to be reffed. It's going to be, there's going to be calls in the first, and then all of a sudden the silencers are on the whistles later. 8
penalties in the first, 1 in the second. It's ridiculous.
Come on.
And they missed about 5 penalties for both teams in the second period.
Yeah.
And then the penalty they call in the second period at the tail end is just a cross check that everybody's seen happen at every scrum, and they call the Oilers for it. The officiating is so terrible. It's the game management. Call the damn penalty, regardless of the period, regardless of the score. It doesn't matter. Just call the damn penalties. The officiating has been so awful. Then you have that little man that runs the league. He thinks everything's fine. It's not fine. Your officials are awful.
It's the inconsistency from regular season to Stanley Cup playoffs to period by period in the playoffs and regular season. It's just a joke.
It is. It's truly, truly, truly awful.
I mean, even the cross-check at the end is, it's a penalty, right?
Sure.
But call it then.
But it happened 4 times before.
I'm not saying it's not a penalty.
It's a penalty.
It's a penalty. But call the rest too then. Like
the goaltender interference on Arvidsson, sure. But then Skinner got a drive-by, got hit. He throws himself and nothing. So what's the difference? Is it because Florida was up? Was it because you can't change the way you call the game because of the time of the game? You can't, in the first period, we're going to call everything. We're going to send a message. You can't do this, right? Yeah. So then the players are like, okay, 8 penalties in the first. They go into the second. Everything's like, you let them do anything they want. And then the third is a crapshoot. Nobody knows what the hell to expect. So it's frustrating.
And
like, again, the Oilers didn't lose because of the refs, but the refs have been awful in these playoffs for every damn team.
Yeah, Buster's in there saying it's always the refs. No, Buster, it doesn't matter who's ref in that game. Oilers lose. Yeah. We're just talking about the inconsistency of what is a penalty from period to period to period.
Yeah, listen, Buster. I like saying
listen, Buster.
I've said it 3 times already. Yeah. The Oilers did not lose the game because of the refs. I'm saying as a whole, the NHL, the officiating is terrible. It's terrible. You can't go from 8 penalties to 1 in the second period.
Exactly.
So, terrible. Terrible. But, I mean, if there's one team that can bounce back, it's this one. Stuart Skinner's numbers are great in Game 4s. I mean, the Oilers are going to be a feisty group. I think, and you know what? I don't think this loss affects them because they're a veteran group, Joaquin. I think they already parked it. They've moved on. They practiced today.
Have to, man.
Yeah.
God, Matthew Tkachuk, he loves being in the nasty chat. Hey, my wisdom is the only thing that exceeds my hockey prowess. Wow.
I mean, that guy, I get it. You want to punch him in the face. You want to go through the TV and grab him and start feeding him the lawnmower. But he's effective, man. Holy smokes.
He's one of a kind, really. One of the best playoff performers over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, unreal. 100-point guy. Like, come on.
Hell of a player.
He's the elite of the elite. Even though like he looks like he can't really skate. He's got a good
He's always chewing that down mouth.
Oh, God. You just want him to choke on that thing sometimes. And he doesn't look like he gets around, but then he makes a nice pass. His shot is overpowering, but he still scores. Like he's got some hands that all of a sudden look silky. Like it's just, he's a whale of a player, man.
Yeah. Mike says, blame the refs, but 783 is fine. Mike, clean your ears. We've said it about 4 times now. The Oilers did not lose because of the refs. The Oilers lost because the whole team sucked. Yeah, 6-1. Okay, look at the goals. Break down all the goals. There's a lot of mistakes, buddy. It's always on Stuart Skinner's getting old. Honestly, it's low-hanging fruit at this point. If you hate Skinner, sure. Okay, just don't text that in. I'm done with that argument about Stuart Skinner. Okay? Yes, he had to be better. They lost 6-1. But your star player had 0 shots on net. No one else did anything. Vander Kane took 2 penalties early in the game. Like, enough. And if you're going to start swearing on our nasty chat, you're out. Okay? It's that simple. See you later. You can have a conversation, sure, but this whole Skinner. Come on, watch the damn game. Tired of it. He has to be better, Gage. Sure. The first goal was awful.
Oh, he has to be tons better, man. That's not cup winning goaltending.
No, of course not.
It was, but he has the capability of doing it. I've always said that.
Mm-hmm. But it's one game, Joaquin. Like, everybody's been, all the all the Skinner haters have been quiet for 2.5 weeks, and they pop out now.
I know. It's hilarious.
That's what bugs me. Like, it is what it is.
Zach?
Well, I was going to say, you could save a couple words, just call them skaters. They're skaters.
Skater haters. Yeah, no one's sitting here defending Stuart Skinner. Joaquin just said it. He has to be much better. Much better. It's a 6-1 game, but so do a lot of skaters on this team. They've dipped a little bit in every facet.
Yeah, there's been... I mean, they win game 1, but I still thought that they played better in the Dallas series. You know, still a good game. Game 2, I thought Florida was the better team.
Yeah, sure.
For the most part. And they got some good performances from a handful of players. But now is the rest of this series, the Oilers can't have passengers. With the injury to Zach Hyman, I mean, you're trying to fill that hole. And I don't know if you can do that, but for the next 4 games, if that's how much it takes, you're going to need every single guy playing at their best or somehow finding a level above it.
That's why, listen, I think the Oilers will win game 4. They're really good in game 4s. They're 9-0 in their last 9 game 4s, Joaquin. They haven't lost a game 4 in 9 tries. Okay. Stuart Skinner's numbers are unreal. You think McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to play as poorly as they did? No. The depth needs to be a little bit better. The defense, sure, step it up a bit. Special teams, you have to turn it around in game 4. Okay. The only thing that worries me, and I said it on the hangout, I don't think Bob stole the game yesterday. I thought he was good, but Bob has that potential still, right? Like the Oilers can come out the gangbusters on Thursday evening, Joaquin, but if Bob's on his game, he's a guy that can shut him down. Do you know what I mean?
There's no excuse for a goalie having a game in my mind. I know it happens.
Yeah.
But things have to happen for goalies to have a game like that. And usually it's there's a little bit of luck involved with subtle good defensive playing too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how good you are, if you're leaving out rebounds and second chance opportunities, you got to take advantage of those. You could say the same thing of Stuart Skinner too. At this point of year, they have to be better. And I heard Matty on the hangout. He was saying how he thought that Bob had a really good game.
You know, I think in the first he made some big saves when it was close.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't say the Oilers got goalied. Hell no.
No,
I really don't.
Bob's been good, man. He's
steady Eddie.
He has one of the best blockers I've seen. You don't say that much about goalies. Oh, a great blocker.
He made one save in the first.
But watch how many saves he makes on that side. Yeah. Like that he's coming across with guys with an open net.
Well, that's what I mean. Like if there's someone that's gonna get the job done, I think Bob can, and that's what it concerns me a bit if he decides to say, you know what, game 4, I'm gonna go nuclear and shut down the Edmonton Oilers. So that's. Do
you think Skinner has that in him?
I do too. He's been really good in game 4s. I mean, there's no. Listen, this Oilers team has shown us throughout these playoffs and last year. They're never out of it. I'm not too worried. Like yesterday, there's people saying they're not watching anymore, which is great.
I'm not watching. Of course, don't
because
lie.
The series is over. So,
don't lie.
Oh, I took down names, so when I see them come back when they win, there's gonna be some good chirps going back and forth because the overreaction is just too much. Yeah, they got their butts kicked, but it's 2-1. I think Skinner said it after the game. Coach said it like you win 6-1 or 2-1, you're still up 2-1. You don't get extra points in the series because you blew them out.
I think, you make a good point. I think the Oilers will have a good game because when I look at these first 3, the Oilers have kind of been on a decline a little bit. Their first game was good. Second game, not as good as the first. And then this game was just a complete train wreck. So.
And McDavid said at postgame, we haven't played our best yet, but it's coming. And I trust that.
It has to be. Like,
I trust that man. I don't know if you heard on the hangout, but someone was in the Nats chat last night complaining that the Oilers lost because Connor McDavid's body's built like a teenager.
Really?
I was like, what? Like,
What does he need? What is he? He
like
need to go into the
he's
gym?
scrawny and
really?
has no strength and can't do anything on the ice. And
Right. So I'd like to see this person go get hit by Ekblad with going full speed and see how Connor actually, like a normal human, he would have blown up to a billion pieces. Right.
You know that gif when the guy's in a meeting and he gets up, walks, opens a window and jumps out?
Yeah,
I almost did that when I saw that one.
Good thing these windows don't open.
Like I was like, enough. Like this is ridiculous. What are we even talking about anymore? You know, I'm upset at myself for bringing it up twice today. But
the hockey players are built differently these days. Like you see them in the wild, and you're like, really? Like they're from my day. Like half the guys look like linebackers, right? Whereas today it's all about speed, and they're different.
I can tell you, McDavid's an absolute animal.
Oh, working out with him, he's probably ridiculously strong. Yeah, he's slight, but that's... I don't worry about that.
All right, this is the show. Heat and Smoke at 1:40. At 2:20, we're going to shift gears, go to the Talk Some CFL with our good buddy from 3 Down Nation, John Hodge. We have Inside the Numbers. We'll continue to break down this game. It's very disappointing, of course. You always want to see the Oilers do well. Last night was not one of those nights. Great night at BP's. A lot of nasties out there with Tom Gazzola and Jolene Latimer. It was a fun pre- and post-game shows. Great vibe around the city as well. We'll wait till Thursday now. We'll get to more about practice notes. Jake Wallman getting a couple of fines as well. We'll get to all that coming up next here on EST Afternoons. Of course, Play Alberta is our presenting sponsor here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Play Alberta is your home for online gaming excitement featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery, instant, and sports betting. Now, with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today at playalberta.ca. All right, hit us up on the Nasty Chat if you have any questions for Joaquin or myself or Koob. Also, slam that thumbs up and hit us up on the River Cree box 780-218-9999. More Oilers on the other side of the break. Here's Koob, Sports Update.
After the 6-1 slugfest in Florida last night, Edmonton's Jake Wallman walked away with $10,000 in fines. Half of that fine was given to Wallman for his roughing against Florida's Matthew Tkachuk. The other $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct in front of the Panthers bench. Out east, the Jays and Cardinals rematch. Toronto picking up a 5-4 win in their series opener yesterday. Chris Bassett gets a call for the Jays. Miles Michaelis for the Cards. First pitch at 5:45. Well, from Kelowna, the Riverhawks and Falcons scrap in their series opener. Edmonton 4-2 on the season. Falcons 2-7 in the early going. Catch the action on any of EST's audio streams with our stream joining midway through the game at 7:35. On the court, the Stingers and Blackjacks throw down from the Hive. Edmonton 2-5 on the season. Tip-off at 7. In other news, a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford has been scheduled for early September, having the pair set to battle for the undisputed super middleweight championship. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. Windsor Plywood Leduc. They're the experts you need to know. More Game 3 discussion follows up the commercial break. I'm Zachary Koob, keeping you in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre-game and post-game shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre-game and post-game shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Sunday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to close, head to the Banquet and dive into Banquet burgers, sushi tacos, nachos, and more. Late night bites, big flavors, and epic deals. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
Time out, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
It's 1:27. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. As we're live from the William Huff Studios. Call our guy Bruce. Best work in the city. Look at our studios. It's awesome. Hey, did you know that the afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino? Check out the Kitchen Restaurant. Sundays and Mondays, it's 50% off the entire menu from 5 p.m. till close. So make sure to check out the River Cree Resort and Casino. Text us 780-218-9999 and hit us up on the nasty chat. Only 36 thumbs up. I feel like it's going to be a down day on thumbs because everybody's a little bit down.
Little poopy pants?
Little poopy pants. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird vibe. I do have a question, Gage.
Go.
Let me find it here. The Tango. Gagers, Florida just better at gamesmanship.
Yes.
100%.
Oh, well, so there's different types of gamesmanship. I hated playing against teams like the Florida Panthers. Like it sucks because they're good, but they're just like, they play as a cohesive unit. Like they're a tight-knit group. You can see that. Not that the Oilers aren't, but just the way, like you spoke about it, they're laughing. Right? Yeah. They know that they've drawn them in and they're under the skin, and everything is bugging the Oilers right now. From probably the food, the dressing rooms, the ice, the refs, everything. And it's just you gotta somehow throw all that into the crapper and flush it. They all say the right things, but you have to really, wipe the hard drive here. And just singular focus to the first period of Game 4. You're no stick penalties, but you're still playing aggressive. And there's a saying too, like when you play on a good aggressive style, which I think the Oilers need to do to be successful, and they've done it this whole playoffs. Like they've run teams out of the rink with their physicality. You have to have the thing. Okay, we play hard, and if we do get a penalty, it has to be a good one, and we'll kill it. Like that's a mentality. That's what you need. You can't be reaching. You have to be in good position, and the decision makings with the puck, the management has to be way better. No D-man on the planet likes to go back and get hit going to get the puck. Okay. Quit making it so easy. And I know the Oilers want to carry the puck in and stuff, but there's a time and a place. And what happens throughout the course of a game, when you do start dumping the puck, defensemen go, God, I don't want to go back and get hit. So they start cheating. Yeah. They start sinking further back so they can go get the puck with more time. And that's when it opens up that you can come across the blue line, stay controlled because you've lengthened the gap between the defensemen. So there's a method to the madness, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a well-oiled machine. They know exactly what they're doing. It's planned. They know it. They love it.
Yeah, but how do the Oilers combat that? Ignore it, and you play hard with the whistles. And when something happens, you just get out.
Yep.
Get out, And what that does too, it makes the refs look, they're retaliating. They always catch the retaliation.
Yeah.
That's what you want to put them in. And that's probably why they miss Zach Hyman so much.
Yeah, definitely, Zach. I mean, Dirty Don says, Gage, would you swap Jeff Skinner for Victor Arvidsson?
I don't know why I'm saying I would. I think I would. And we saw Jeff Skinner in the game against Dallas. Like, he played in a clinching game, scored a goal. He did look a little bit out of place in the defensive zone a few times with assignments. I tell you, man. And Dusty made a good point with Cass. Just the fact that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and we saw Wallman out there. Yeah. Maybe he's still, if he can't go, I think I got time to put Skinner in there. Maybe that's the only way.
Is Skinner the type of player that can play in this series though?
I don't know. We'll find out. I 80% of me says no, but 20% of me says maybe he does. Maybe he has the.
I like Arvidsson's jam, man.
He just got jam.
He doesn't back down.
No.
That's what. And again, we're Jeff Skinner guys. We love Jeff Skinner.
And this is why I put him in. I don't. If you're asking the question, I don't think I put him in for Arvidsson because you need a buzzsaw like Arvidsson. You need a guy that's going to go out and hopefully get under the skin of the other team. Only if I'm thinking more along the lines if Nuge is really banged up and can't. I mean, if he can't play on the power play, can't take draws. What are we doing here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. CB Radio guy says this team keeps saying the ups haven't been too high, the lows not too low. Last night they let it get too low and bought into the Panthers crap. Yeah,
they're human, man.
Scott on a hotel room says, "Quit blaming the refs, Hernan." Jeez, I think that's tongue in cheek, obviously. Yeah, I mean, listen, the officials missed a lot of calls on both sides. There's no question. Everybody texting in about that. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, they missed a ton of calls. I mean, the Lundell one at the end, I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't like it. Hernan, you just made the list. Raider Jesse says, I'd swap Frederick for Jeff Skinner. I mean, Frederick, for the first time this playoff, showed some jam last night.
Yeah.
Finally. He showed Boston Frederick, but is that enough to keep him in the lineup? Because for me right now, Gager, take that part away. He's probably the number one guy on my list to take out if you want to make a change. Seriously.
Yeah. There hasn't been much there.
Yeah, there hasn't.
No.
There hasn't. And then Troll says, maybe put Jones in and tell him to hit anything that moves. Maybe he'd be the one to accidentally on purpose fall on Bobrovsky. Yeah, Max Jones not getting in.
I think it's too late for that.
It's too late for that, yeah.
The only way he's getting in is if there's multiple injuries, right? Yeah. Guys just can't go.
Question for Hernan from Panthers Bank is, when you see the score at 6-1 in the third, how do you mentally prep for what, of course, is going to be a dumpster fire for post-game show? Just drink, my friend. Drink. No, I mean, you're used to it. I mean, Penner's Pancakes, you're always on here. You're a big supporter of EST, like a lot of our wonderful listeners and viewers. After every loss, whether it's in the preseason, regular season, playoffs, it's the same. I mean, more people now because it's playoffs. It means a lot more, but you know how it is. You just prep for it. Yeah. One thing you learn is you don't have to read all of them. Yeah, right? So, yeah.
Hugh Jasole. If Edmonton doesn't stay disciplined, this series won't last 7.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yep. You're exactly right.
I 100%.
Mr. Jasole.
I agree with that. Another one. This one's from BMAC T, it was brought up last night. I think most of the shows today have talked about it. Klimberg struggled. You're seeing he's sometimes a little step behind, and that's because of the forecheck of the Florida Panthers that does not stop. Is game 4 the time to make a change for Stetcher?
I don't think so.
I don't either. Yeah. Stetcher has a lot of good qualities. Moving the puck is not one of them. And I think against this team, you have to have guys that can move the puck from the back end.
And I hate saying there's a size issue, but there is a size issue with that floor. You just mentioned the Florida forecheck, right?
So you'd say no?
I say no.
And it's nothing against Stetcher. I think he's playing really well.
I loved what he did, man.
Yeah. And he's feisty too. He's a little dude, but he'll get in there.
This is a different animal than the previous series. Like, they're fast, they're mean, and their forecheck is, I mean, it's been elite for 3 years now. Every time you watch them, it doesn't change, and it just suffocates teams.
So they practice, weird question. So they're there for 2 days. They practice today, day off tomorrow. Do you like that, or would you have preferred it the other way? Day off today, practice tomorrow, a day ahead of the game.
So they practice today, day off tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't get these days off things.
Yeah.
What did they full practice today?
Yeah, everybody was, except for Nuge. Same lines as yesterday's game with Nuge out, Skinner as placeholder.
I like the fact that you got everyone on the ice just to, flush it a little bit.
Yeah.
Have a good hard practice, quick, easy. Tomorrow, I would have like a specialty teams practice, man.
That's why I found it. I thought today they'd get the day off. Like, just hang out in the hotel, go for dinner, do your thing, and then have a nice practice tomorrow, the day before the game, right? Do what you have to do, video work and all that. I find it weird that they're going to get a day off before the...
Because it's almost like 2 days off before the next game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like hitting balls before you go golfing.
Yeah.
You want to...
That's close to the game, right?
So there's no ice tomorrow.
No ice tomorrow. According to the media that's down in Florida with Edmonton, they're saying it's the day off tomorrow.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, they're not going to forget how to skate. So
No. I mean, I think we're overanalyzing.
Yeah. But I just thought it would be a perfect, time for a 30-minute quick power play. Maybe you want to try some things. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to show your hand to the other team. Maybe that's it.
That's crazy.
I'm sure they talk about it, but whatever.
KTG says, hey, guys, I just farted. Well, congratulations, buddy. What'd you eat?
Jeez.
Oh, man. Okay, so you're okay. We're reading too much into this practice stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, we need to dissect this even more. What did they practice today?
Yeah. So if you missed it, it's the same line, same pairings. I do not like Nurse with Klimberg. Just go back to what you had. Nurse with Kulak, Klimberg with Wallman. Why are you changing that? Why? They weren't that bad in game 2. It was double overtime you lost.
Yeah, the girl you picked, take her to the dance. You can't switch now. You got to dance with her.
And Nurse is good with Stetcher, and he's good with Kulak. Why are you messing around with this? Go back to what's working. Klimberg was -3 last night. I thought Nurse struggled. Like, enough. Wallman fined $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct for an incident involved in Florida's bench. He was also fined for roughing up Florida's Matthew Tkachuk. This is ridiculous, NHL. This
the amount of time that he's like a guy's being held and he punches this is again. So do it both ways.
This crap happens almost after every whistle, Joaquin. You're gonna single out Jake Wallman. He did go a little crazy. He was a little madman last night, sure. But man, come on, NHL, figure it out. Ian Furry said Marchand is a little dude as well. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. No, I agree. But I'm just saying Stetcher's limited to his puck moving. He's good, but Klimberg's a better puck mover. Now, Stetcher a better defender. I listen, these pairings have been really good, man. So I don't get why he's messing with it right now. Knobloch hasn't made a bad decision up until this one.
Jasmine with the clown face emoji. I think that's reference to Pennywise, the clown.
Pennywise?
You know Pennywise?
Oh, yeah.
That's who the Florida Panthers are. They're in the sewer down there trying to lure the Edmonton Oilers in. Can't go for those shiny red balloons.
And Van Owen says, my wife said she'll help pay Wallman's fine for roughing up Tkachuk. I think a lot of people would chip in.
Oh. That's a good idea. That's a GoFundMe.
A GoFundMe for Jake Wallman for roughing out Tkachuk.
That'd be filled up in 2 seconds.
All right, up next, we'll continue to talk Oilers Panthers, but we'll also get to Heat and Smoke Who will bring the heat? Who will go up in smoke? Hernan's on a 2-game win streak as Koob test our trivia knowledge when it comes to the good old hockey world. That's all coming up next year on EST Afternoon. Slam the thumbs up. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat and the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. Here's Kubalicious Sports Update.
Following the scrum at the end of last night's game between the Panthers and Oilers, Edmonton's Jake Wallman has been fined $10,000 for roughing Matthew Tkachuk of the Panthers while being guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct from an incident in front of the Panthers bench. In the NFL, J.K. Dobbins is on his way to Denver. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network breaking the news. It's a 1-year deal. $5.25 million contract. MLB action has Toronto and St. Louis playing once again. Jays picking up a 5-4 win yesterday in their series opener. First pitch for that one is at 5:45. Chris Bassett gets the ball for Toronto. Miles Michaelis, the man for St. Louis. And the Riverhawks are on the road in Kelowna facing the Falcons. Edmonton sits 4th in the North Division, 4-2 on the season. Kelowna 2-7 in the early going. Listen to the game on any of EST's audio streams coverage starting just after 7:30. In basketball action has Edmonton hosting Ottawa from the Hive. They hit the court at 7. And boxing news has a blockbuster fight scheduled in early September between Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. They'll battle for the undisputed super middleweight championship. Heat and smoke is what brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Koob, keeping you up to date.
The EST Hangout.
Can we get a countdown for when Happy Gilmore comes out?
I'm looking forward to that. Oh, God. I love that scene where they're knitting the blankets and he's like on the phone trying to sell them. He's like, good news, everybody. Arts and crafts time has been extended by 8 hours. And then the little lady goes, my fingers hurt. What's that? My fingers hurt. Well, guess what? Now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
$1:45. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here from the William Huff Studios. Coming off a 6-1 loss to the Florida Panthers. In Game 3, Florida takes a 2-1 series lead. We're not going to get into the numbers of what Game 3 means because we don't want to upset you any more than you already are.
Those are bad.
So we'll just leave it at that, okay? Nate the Builder says, am I on an island here thinking Max Jones should get a shot in this series? Nate,
Well, this is a tale of a... What's that, Gilligan's Island song?
I don't know. I like the song Dusty and then we're playing today about the Oilers, like kind of Don't Panic.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be okay. I can't remember the lyrics. It was very catchy. Well, not that catchy if I can't remember it. I'm also old, so I can't remember a lot of things. All right, Gager, I've smoked you last couple of Heat and Smokes.
Yeah, you
50 thumbs up.
You're like Skinner haters when you win, but when you lose,
Just rub it in.
It's just crickets.
No, I said you won 4 straight. I was honest. But let's go. Koob, what you got for us this week? And we want you to chime in too. Nasty Chat and River Cree inbox, text in the trivia. We won't look, obviously. We don't want to cheat. So
well, maybe some of us want to, but
no,
it won't happen. It won't happen.
Won't happen.
So Hernan, of course, you won the last 2 games, unlike you did in Tecmo. Gager, you will start with.
Whoa, uncalled for.
Oh, sorry. I just had to bring
anaconda taking down a pig.
The first question here, of course, 6-1 loss last night. When was the last time the Oilers lost 6-1 in regular season and playoffs? When's the last time that they did it? Because they did it this season. They lost 6-1 this season. So I guess against which team? Let's make it a little bit easier. You don't need the specific date.
They lost 6-1 to.
Yeah, I don't think we'd get the date.
6-1.
6-1. Think, Hernan.
It was in the last couple months of the season. Against which?
Vegas?
Team? No.
All right. Last couple months, 6-1. They came back from the Four Nations and Philadelphia.
No, solid guess. So you get another one, Gager. Each get 2.
Let's go. What did they play there? 6-1 against the. Was it St. Louis?
It was not St. Louis.
So I get one more guess. I'm going to 6-1 loss. 6-1. Think, Hernan. Use your head. Toronto.
No. Seattle.
Oh.
March 27th. 6-1 loss.
Is that right?
That is correct.
All right.
Second question. When's the last time or what team did the Oilers lose 6-1 to get? Let me try that again. Who was the opponent the last time the Oilers lost 6-1 in the playoffs prior to their game last night?
I go first?
Yeah.
Colorado.
No.
Kings.
No. There was a 5-goal differential, 5-0, 6-2, but 6-1 specifically.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
It's playoffs.
Let me think here. Florida.
No.
Just
a couple guesses. So last time the Oilers prior.
Vancouver.
Last night. No, good guess. So. Hernan, one more. I'm very fond of this. Well, not very fond of this team, but
Dallas.
A bit. Yeah. There we go.
I mean,
in the 2003 playoffs, the Oilers lost 6-1 in Game 2 against the Stars on April 11th.
I think I remember that.
Oh, jeez.
You think you remember that? Okay. All right. We saw a lot of penalty minutes last night. So the most penalty minutes in a single Stanley Cup Final game was Game 4 between the Canadiens and the Flames. How many penalty minutes combined did those two teams have? And the closer guess, you guys will have 2 guesses.
365.
No.
I'll say... You said, how much did you say?
365. I was counting tens.
Minutes?
This is like the Price is Right now.
140.
140. You get another guess. Both will count, by the way. Let's see if we can get it closer.
Okay, so 250.
No, Hernan?
150.
Yeah, you're actually pretty close with 150. 176 penalty minutes in Game 4. 1986 between the Flames and the Canadiens.
That's insane.
They count tens on that?
So there we go, Hernan. You're up 2-0.
Sure.
2-5 and a 10?
Probably. Somewhere there. I'm not sure. All right. And fun fact, the Oilers Game 3 last night is the 4th most in the Stanley Cup Final for penalties combined.
Wow.
Penalty minutes combined. So question number 4 in that same game, Game 4, Canadiens Flames. The Habs hold the record for the most penalty minutes by team in a single Stanley Cup Final game. How many penalties did the Habs have in that Game 4? So it was 176 combined. The Habs hold the record for the most by team in a single Stanley Cup Final game. How many was it?
I'm going to say 13.
13. So 176, you picked the one team to have 13?
Oh, yeah. I'm guessing there's multiple penalty minutes for each guy.
13 penalty minutes.
No.
How many penalty
penalties?
Minutes?
Oh, penalty minutes.
Yeah. You get another guess. So
say the question again.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Okay.
You said that there was say it again.
So Habs have the record for the most penalty minutes by team in a single Stanley Cup Final game. How many penalty minutes did the Canadiens have in that Game 4?
Oh, okay. How many penalty minutes did they have?
Yes.
I'm going to say 80.
Hernan?
100.
Gager?
90.
Yes.
Hey!
There we go. You hit it right on the dot. You guys were right in the middle. I'm like, well, I can't give it to either of you guys. So, yeah, they had 90, and the Oilers are just 5 penalty minutes behind them to tie that record all time. So it's 2-1 now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one's going to be a hard one, boys. So 7 players have over 40 penalty minutes in a single Stanley Cup Final series. One of those players is a well-known forward who's active in the NHL. Can you name one of these players in that top 7? So this player...
most penalty minutes in a final?
Yes. Not the most, but one of these 7 who have over 40 penalty minutes.
Tom Wilson.
Good guess, though. Yeah, this guy, there's only one player in the top 7 who's an active player. He's, I guess, very well-known. He's been playing for a bit now. I mean, he hasn't
Sidney
been playing
Crosby.
for 20 plus years or anything like that. No. Solid guess, though. But you got to make it to the dance a few times to probably rack up those penalty minutes. So, an active player with over 40 penalty minutes in a single Stanley Cup Final.
The Stanley Cup Final.
And he's not Canadian, is another hint.
Jesus.
Not Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
Hernan, what you thinking?
I don't know what I'm thinking.
Great rating.
Is he a forward or a defenseman?
He's a forward. Yes, he's a forward.
Man, I'm like stumped right now.
He had 50 penalty minutes in one of these seasons. Of course, during my lifetime, I've got to see.
I have no idea. I'm drawing a blank. Gager?
Hey, Gager,
you passed?
I passed.
You passed? Okay.
So
that forfeits your guess then.
Let's go with current player?
We need an answer here, Gager. Come on.
I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Wow. Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh, Jesus.
Matthew Tkachuk. He has his second most penalty minutes in a single Stanley Cup Final. Yes.
Okay.
I did not think of
50.
forward.
Why didn't I think? There's that little rat bastard.
In 2023.
All right.
So there we go. All right. Next question. Excluding this season, the Stanley Cup Final has been tied 1-1 entering Game 3 a total of 30 times all time.
Okay.
How many of those times has the winner of that Game 3 moved on to win the Stanley Cup? So out of 30 games, when the series is tied 1-1 entering Game 3, how many?
23.
23?
24.
Hernan, another one?
26.
26. Gager?
22.
26 is the closest. It's 20. Wait, did I do that wrong? Hold on, wait.
Pretty sure it's 23.
I thought it was 23 too.
Yeah.
Write that down. Wait. No, you guessed 23, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah!
I messed up. It's 23 and 7. I flipped them around.
I
I'm
thought
like
you,
27 and 3 doesn't sound right. My bad. Boys, all right. Hernan up 3-1. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, one more question. No tiebreakers, so it will be Hernan's here. Since the 2000-2001 season, which team has the most wins in the playoffs? Franchise wins in the playoffs since 2000.
2001?
Since 2000.
2000. Wins in the playoffs since 2000?
Yeah, which franchise holds the record for the most wins?
Who's going there all the time? I'm going to go Pittsburgh Penguins.
Solid guess, they're second. They're 11 wins back of the
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go, Hernan. 123 wins, 218 games played, it says.
Wow.
There we go. Boom. Hernan, victorious again. 4-1 over Gager.
Great questions.
Brought the smoke.
I brought the smoke?
Yeah.
No, I brought the heat. You went down and smoked.
You're about to go smoke after that victory.
Oh, that'd be great.
Ugh.
Want to join me?
No.
No, why not? How about no?
How about no?
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Make your birthday legendary at the Canadian Brew House. Epic food, killer drinks, and a vibe you can't beat. Book your party now. The Canadian Brew House. Our house is your house. That was a fun another edition of Heat and Smoke. I appreciate everybody chiming in with their answers as well. A few correct ones. Very smart audience we have. And if you're listening to us on iHeart or TuneIn radio apps or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, slide on over and slam that thumbs up. It's a little slow today, and I get it. We're a little bit down after a 6-1 thrashing by the Florida Panthers. It wasn't good. It was the first blowout game for the Oilers since, game 2 against LA? Yeah, probably. So it's been a while since we felt this kind of pain. But I think the Oilers will be fine heading into game 4. They were. You too, Trev. Good job giving Hernan that win, Gager. Man, a lot of confidence in this at EST headquarters today. Lots of confidence. But yeah, slam that thumbs up. Let's get to 100 at least. I'm going to go easy on you guys today. I know you're down. You're probably hungover too. Everybody's just drinking every second day now because of the Oilers.
Oh, yeah. This is the livers look like dried up raisins right now.
There'll be a nice break once this is all over. Actually, if the Oilers win, it's going to last all summer.
Is it?
Oh, how can it not?
I think it goes through the summer regardless, win or lose.
Into the training camp. Yeah. Oh, I don't even want to think about that right now. But yeah, slam that thumbs up if you can. It'd be greatly appreciated. All right, in hour 2, we'll continue to talk Oilers, Panthers, talk some F1. We're hoping to have F1 Tim Hauraney tomorrow because I know he's going to be a busy boy down there in Montreal after tomorrow with practice and qualifying and all that fun stuff. It's going to be great. The times are going to be great because it is in Canada. And we'll talk CFL as well at 2:20 with John Hodge from 3 Down Nation. We'll get his thoughts on what he saw from the green and gold this past weekend and look ahead to week 2 as well. So lots of fun stuff coming up. Of course, Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne will we'll have you from 3 to 6. They got a loaded show as well. We got to talk about Gene Principe and that tan, but we'll do that on the other side of the break.
We need to get some SPF down to Miami.
We sure do. We love Gino, man. We want to take care of him. So that's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. We're live from the William Huff Studios here on the west side of the city. On the other side of the break, it's hour 2.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Get ready for pure adrenaline at Buck's Auto Parts Annihilation Night. Friday, June 13th at Brad Torque Raceway. Witness an action-packed evening filled with crashing, smashing, and jaw-dropping stunts. From heart-pounding collisions to cars dropped from towering cranes and a jet car burn. Celebrate an early Father's Day of outrageous entertainment at Buck's Auto Parts Annihilation Night. Friday, June 13th at Brad Torque Raceway. Just west of Highway 2 and Highway 19 at the Edmonton International Airport. Tickets and info online at radraceway.com.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Celebrate your birthday at the Banquet Bar. Enjoy great drinks, amazing vibes, and unforgettable memories. Download the Banquet app and get a free pizza pie on your birthday. Book your party today at thebanquetbar.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Following Edmonton's 6-1 loss to Florida in Game 3 last night, Jake Wallman of the Oilers has been fined $10,000 for 2 actions he committed last night. Half of the fine was dished out for unsportsmanlike conduct he showed in front of the Panthers bench. The rest of the fine going to Wallman for roughing against Florida's Matthew Tkachuk. Elsewhere, the Broncos have signed J.K. Dobbins to a 1-year contract worth over $5 million. The 26-year-old had over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns in 13 games for the Chargers last season's NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero first reporting from St. Louis. The Cards and Jays duke it out. Toronto winning 5-4 yesterday in their series opener. The Jays give Chris Bassett the start, while St. Louis has Miles Michaelis, the starter, on the mound. First pitch at 5:45. And for the Riverhawks, they're on the road in Kelowna to battle the Falcons. First pitch just after 6:30, with EST carrying the game on any of our audio streams coverage starting at 7:35. At home, the Stingers tip off with the Blackjacks at 7. Edmonton 2-5 in the early parts of the season. Ottawa with a record of 2-4. I'm Zachary Koob Kubusch. That was your sports update. The second hour of EST Afternoons starts right now.
Welcome back. Hour 2 EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talks. Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubish, Hernan Salas with you. As lots of Oilers talk, of course, after a disappointing 6-1 loss. It got a little feisty there in the third. We will hear from Leon Draisaitl coming up shortly, as well as he met with the media today. They practiced today. Sounds like it's a day off tomorrow. Then, of course, game day on Thursday, and then on Saturday as well. So Hernan will be working on Saturday. I'm not happy about that. I mean, it's all good. It is what it is. Mike?
It's all good. It's okay.
It's okay. Hey, hit us up, River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. Hit the thumbs up if you want. And nasty chat, of course. If you have questions for Joaquin or I, or you just want to chime in with your thoughts, it's always greatly appreciated. So let's go inside the numbers for Play Alberta. Hey, you want to get some casino bonus, $50. All you have to do is deposit $20 and enter the promo code EST Casino. You can do the same. Deposit $20 to get a $50 free sports bet using promo code EST Sports. And inside the numbers brought to you by Play Alberta. Biz had quite the encounter with Mr. Gary Bettman on last night's broadcast. I don't like the way Bettman sometimes talks to people. I mean, I get you're the commissioner and you're a tough little dude and whatever, but the state tax was brought up from Florida, that it's beneficial to players and all that. Well, where do you stand on that? Because listen, I get what Dusty was saying this morning, and we talked about it. Like, sure, it is an advantage. I don't think it's as big an advantage as we're making it out to be, because I think people mostly want to go to Florida because they're a hell of a hockey team right now.
Yeah. I think there are subtle advantages to being in these states.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
I think in the case, as you just mentioned, no one wants to go to a team that stinks.
No.
It doesn't matter. Right? There might be a select few that, okay, they're going to give me a ton of money to go, but most guys are going to want to go to a contender. One of the things that they have going for them, I think, revolves more around, and I'm singling out the Panthers here, that if they have something good going, which they do, their ability to retain personnel is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because when the whole comparison, so if you're a UFA on July 1st, another team comes with a certain offer. Okay, well, you go back to the Panthers. Okay, what does that look like? I'm sure the consultants are looking, well, tax-wise, this is looking at the whole bring home feature and how much are you actually taking home in that contract. So, I mean, here in Alberta, we're actually quite lucky because our marginal tax rate, and that's the highest rate that you pay taxes at over a certain amount, is lower than everyone else. So I just did a quick little thing here if you want me to.
Sure.
So Leon Draisaitl makes $14 million next year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Alberta, because you don't pay the marginal tax rate's the highest you pay at. So the threshold, you get to a certain threshold and you pay what's 48% on that threshold above whatever that number is. Okay. So Leon Draisaitl, essentially with that $14 million, it puts him in, his average tax rate will be 47.71%. So he's not even at the highest tax rate because you don't pay it across all your income, obviously. His tax payable is $6.6 million. And he's, after tax, Leon Draisaitl is taking home $7,320,242, give or take. Okay, so that's kind of what, opposed to other provinces. So you look at BC, their marginal tax rate. So if you look at, that's the highest rate that they pay tax at. It was 53.5%.
Yeah.
And I know this is a lot of numbers, but essentially, it's comparable. All right. If we look at the tax payable in BC compared to Alberta, if Leon Draisaitl paid for the Vancouver Canucks, he would take home $6.5 million, whereas in Alberta he takes home 7.3. So huge advantage there by playing for a team in Alberta. There's no teams in Saskatchewan. Ontario, kind of same as BC, right? You're looking at Leon being in a tax bracket over, or his marginal tax rate is over the 50%, and his average tax rate if he played for the Leafs would be 53.21%. So again, the Oilers have an advantage of, getting into a bidding war with different players that are going to Canadian markets, at least, because we have a lower marginal tax rate, which will lower your average tax rate for playing for the Edmonton Oilers, which is a good thing.
I think the biggest tell is going to be Sam Bennett.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, if he signs elsewhere, then this kind of conversation goes out the window. It's like, well, why didn't he stay there? Right?
I know.
So he's the big one for me. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think the why people are bothered is because Bettman said there's no advantage. There is. You have to admit it. Yeah. There is, and a lot of different cities have it. Vegas, Nashville, Tampa Bay. But to sit there and look at someone in the face and be rude about it and call it ridiculous. All you said, there's some advantages, but how do we stop that? We have to go to every city and figure stuff out. And
and I saw some people when you were talking about it on the Hangout today. There is a NHL dollar. Everyone gets paid in U.S. funds. All right, so of course, then depending on the exchange rate at the time, right? Obviously, Leon will probably go back to the UK or the EU where he would convert most of his assets to euros at that point, right? But so again, in Alberta, if you make over $360,961, every amount over that amount, you're taxed at that 48%. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of tax.
And I just want to get to this. When we look at the Florida roster, and I know people can re-up, okay, get extension. But Barkov, draft pick. Tkachuk traded. Sam Reinhart traded. And why I'm saying this is because it's not like they said trade me to Florida. They got traded, right?
Yeah.
Lundell, draft pick. Luosterainen, trade. Marchand, trade. Sam Bennett, trade. Seth Jones, trade. Gustav Forsling picked off waivers. It wasn't even his choice, buddy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I get it. Bobrovsky signed years ago when the team wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
So, I do agree, and Biz is right. There is a bit of an advantage. I don't think it's as big as some are making it out to be, though.
Do you look at it as more as a bargaining chip, like in the negotiation? It factors into the negotiation of a player, right? Am I willing I'm going to take a little bit more home here?
Mm-hmm.
Is my style of life, like these are decisions that usually only apply to the higher echelon NHL player. Yeah. I mean, if you're a bum like me, you're saying, yeah, I'll go. Where do I sign?
Sign me up.
But, this factors into the decisions making. I'm sure, a lot of U.S.-born players prefer to be down in Florida because of the lower taxes. But, I think it's a negotiation tactic. But there's, again, one of the reasons why guys want to go play for both those teams in Florida is not because of the taxes. It's because these teams are good.
And look who's left Florida from last year's Stanley Cup, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys opted to go elsewhere.
For more money.
Yeah. Which, is it more money?
They should actually talk to me. Jesus. Maybe I should be an agent.
Well, we need you on the show, so no. No. You either give up your financials or you can't give up this one. Though.
Yeah.
So, I know I'm bugging, but he's such a little twerp, that guy, though. Like, nothing's ever wrong with the NHL.
Yeah.
The officiating is great. Arizona's a great hockey market. Blah blah blah. Like he can't admit that there's advantages. He can't admit when something needs work. You know what I mean?
He's a politician. Essentially, at that point when he's talking about the league and stuff, like when he said that, what was that arena called in Florida? Wasn't it crappy?
A college one?
Well, yeah. What was it called?
I get it.
The poop arena? Mullet.
The
mullet. Whatever. I thought it had a weird name. Like he said, it was 5,000 seats, and he said it was profitable.
Yeah, like
he actually. Come on, man.
Like he really he treats you like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for Biz because I thought it was a good question.
It's a great question. And Biz keeps bringing it up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't think it's an advantage, but it's not as big as you think. Right? Can we say that?
That's what we said on the hang. Like, okay. I know Maddie brought up some numbers too, and Tom as well. So yeah, Troll says Bettman is typical lawyer weasel. No surprise.
Hey, he does a great job for the owners.
He does. He's got their back.
I mean, if you're an owner, you love Gary Bettman.
And I'll say this: I'm very grateful for him because he's one of the big reasons the Oilers are still here.
He had his fingerprints all over that. Yeah.
Gold Medal Mark says, "Hey guys, would the Canadian teams not buy the American dollar when the price is best to mitigate to the risk in fluctuation?"
That's interesting. But I mean, I'd have to dive deep into there. But I mean, I'm sure that like what you're probably doing, let's just say Cates, for example, he's probably allotted a certain amount of funds for OEG to pay the players, right?
Yeah.
So that is sitting in some sort of account, probably some sort of high interest thing that he allots to pay for everything, right? So it's all earmarked already. And then you can't really do anything with the fluctuations of it. Obviously, if it's lower and goes higher, it's better. But I mean, I'm sure it's he's not waiting. Oh, we can't pay you on the 30th because I'm waiting for the dollar to go down or up, right? Like, no.
Hodge says there's no fair way to fix the tax advantage. Lowering the cap for certain teams would mean players would be expected to sign for less. It's not realistic and would be a disadvantage in some ways for
they
those
could never get traded.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine if Bettman came out and said Florida has a tax advantage? Well, I mean, we all know they do. To what extent does it help their team? I still say it's a bit of an advantage, but I don't think it's as big. Gager, do you not have to file taxes in all the provinces, states that you make income in based on where all your games are played?
Yeah, there's an entertainment tax, I believe, that that came in because now, you're considered an entertainer, and so if you go to California, look, I'm not a tax consultant, especially not in the U.S., but my understanding, Cass would know a little bit more of that, but they have tax professionals. So there is, depending on your daily salary, there would be tax paid in that state while you're there because you're paid there. But so it's quite complicated, and your tax guy would say, okay, he's working here. He's not you don't get dual taxation, right? There'd be something there so you wouldn't get taxed in both spots. Good question though. It's I've kind of looked into it and my head started to hurt. So, and I don't work with U.S. clients, so it's fine.
Waddy in Cloverdale says taxation is theft. Then, Gage. Uncle Jesse says I sent this to the boys in the morning, but Gary is a smug bleep. I used to hate the fact that everyone booed him. Between last year with his dumb take on start times, along with last night's comments, I got no time for him. He always has to make others look like idiots in interactions with him. That's just who he is, man.
The thing I don't like about, and I don't know if it's him, but the start times bug me.
Yeah.
Because he knows that we could have Oiler games at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, and, there'd be a good portion of Canada that would watch that game. It's a built-in audience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it goes to cater to certain, I want to say like almost a niche markets in the US, right? They're not going to be huge hockey markets. They're going to be cult followings to an extent. Like that's just the way things are. I think it's kind of like, when you go buy a cell phone from a provider, from a new provider, and they just give you everything. But the people that have been with the company for so long get butt kiss. Like, I think they should throw a bone to Canadian viewership a little bit more and give people that live and die and breathe this game a little bit more for their loyalty, I think, than some team in Phoenix with 5,000 people in there and you're putting them on prime time or whatever, or catering so they can watch it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and listen, we're not Gary Bettman. He hasn't gone this far in life because he's a dumb man. He's very smart. He's very to the point.
No, he's
not for everyone.
Well.
He's not for everyone, but he's done extremely well in his career. So, hey, did you know the afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino? Check out Dire Straits Legacy.
Bettman will be there.
Thursday, June 12th. Or you can check out the Lightfoot Band on July 4th. You want to get tickets? All you have to do is go to www.rivercreeresort.com or hit up the River Cree box office. All right, on the other side of the break, we're going to talk some CFL. We'll get someone from outside the market's thoughts on what he saw on Saturday from BC, and we'll tee up week 2 as well as the Elks are on a bye week. Hey, fun show tomorrow on the Hangout. Royce Metier and Nick Anderson.
I know.
In studio.
God, he wants another 9 tackles, I guess.
How crazy is that? It's going to be great. So make sure to keep it locked here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're back with John Hodge from 3 Down Nation. After the break, here's Kubalicious Sports Update.
After the 6-1 slugfest in Florida last night, Edmonton's Jake Wallman walked away with $10,000 in fines. Half of that fine was given to Wallman for roughing Florida's Matthew Tkachuk. The other $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct in front of the Panthers bench. And J.K. Dobbins is off to Denver, signing with the Broncos on a one-year deal worth over $5 million. Dobbins recorded 9 touchdowns in 13 games for the Chargers last season, being good for over 900 rushing yards. Out east, the Jays and Cardinals rematch. Toronto picking up a 5-4 win in their series opener yesterday. Chris Bassett gets the call for Toronto. Miles Michaelis for the Cards. First pitch at 5:45. Well, from Kelowna, the Riverhawks and Falcons scrap in their series opener. Edmonton 4-2 on the season. Falcons 2-7 in the early going. Catch the action on any of EST's audio streams with our stream joining midway through the game at 7:35. On the court, the Stingers and Blackjacks throw down from the Hive here in Edmonton. Edmonton 2-5 on the season with tip-off at 7 o'clock. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor, or the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care, whether it's a one-time donation or monthly contribution. Every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. We preview week 2 of the CFL next here on EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Koob Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Time out, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place, anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
2:24. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on this Tuesday afternoon. The mood's a little somber here after the Oilers got their butt kicked last night in Florida, 6-1. That's a tough one for sure. They're back at it on Thursday from Florida for Game 4. We'll see if they can bounce back. Keep slamming that thumbs up. Very slow on the thumbs up today. Let's try to get to 100. We're at 69 right now. But we're going to shift gears and talk CFL. Kicked off last week with 4 really good games, and don't expect any different this week. We got some beauty matchups coming up in the CFL. And to talk all things CFL, our good friend from 3 Down Nation, John Hodge, joins us. John, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for taking the time to join us. We're going to go back to last week for a bit here. It's hard to preach patience here in Edmonton with the green and gold. There was some good in that game, but overall, what did you make of Trey Ford and the Edmonton Elks' performance in BC on Saturday night, John?
Overall, I didn't think it was a disastrous performance. That being said, it certainly left a lot to like, I think, a lot to desire. We'll start with Trey Ford. I thought he was arguably the most disappointing part of the game. And I want to acknowledge the good first. His remarkable third down conversion where he ran 29 yards backwards was incredible, right? Arguably the play of the year. It's only week 1, but 5 months from now, we could say, wow, that was the play of the year. The issue is we've become accustomed to Trey Ford doing this, right? Every game he will have a play that is like an 11 out of 10 off the charts that just makes everybody stop and go, holy smokes. The issue is his average play is not good enough, right? He'll throw the 8-yard curl, and instead of hitting his receiver in the chest, he'll throw it a foot too high, and his receiver has to expose his ribs to the defensive back, or the ball is in the dirt and the receiver has to make an adjustment, and sometimes they don't necessarily pick it up. Like, the issue is not a lack of sensational plays from Trey Ford. The issue is that his average play is a 4 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10. He needs to have a bunch of 7 out of 10 plays to win a football game. Like, the high highs are great, but the valleys are too low. No, he didn't commit a bunch of turnovers in that game, but BC coming into this season, I don't think anybody had them as a top 3 defense in the CFL. When the Elks come back from bye, they're going to face arguably the 2 best defenses in the CFL in Montreal and Winnipeg. So I hope he is studying up this bye week, getting in the room with Jordan Maksimic, the team's OC, because he has to be a whole lot better. Not necessarily, again, raising his ceiling. He has to raise his floor.
John, we saw, on the other side of the field, we saw Nathan Rourke look really good, probably the benefits of having a full training camp with the Lions. What did you think of his game? And just, I want to pose the question, how long would it take Trey Ford to become an accomplished quarterback, what we've seen in Rourke so far?
Well, Nathan Rourke, funnily enough, did not come out of college as an elite thrower. Like, he was considered a very middling prospect, which is why he didn't get an NFL look right away coming out of Ohio. He got into the lab, so to speak, with Rob Williams, a local in and around Vancouver, who is a remarkable throwing technician, a remarkable coach, and basically reconfigured the entire way he delivered the football. He also had the benefit of a canceled season in 2020. In 2021, he had the opportunity to take almost all of the first team reps that whole year with Michael Riley banged up, and then he became the starter in 2022. Trey Ford's development hasn't been anywhere near that. Trey Ford got kind of tossed in and out by the previous coaching staff. At times, I don't think that relationship was super, super positive between him and the coaching staff. Hernan, I'm sure you witnessed that a lot more than I did as then an employee of the club. I'll let you to speak to that if you want to speak to that. But the bottom line is the trajectory here for Trey Ford has not been nearly that of Nathan Rourke. Can Trey Ford be Nathan Rourke? Well, he's already a better runner than Nathan Rourke. The question is, what can he do as a passer? Now, I thought we'd see more from Nathan Rourke. Jordan Maksimic's offense is an intricate offense. It's a pass-oriented offense. It is a timing offense where for this very short window, this 18-yard dig is going to be open and you have to deliver the ball well, and it has to be exactly on time for it to work. It took Vernon Adams Jr. some time for that offense to click for him. I'm not surprised Trey Ford didn't throw for 400 yards week 1, but the Elks don't need him to throw for 400 yards. They need to throw for 225, and he was far below that. In fact, Edmonton only averaged 5.1 yards per play in week 1. That is by far the worst in the CFL. You're not going to win CFL games that way. Yes, they left a bunch of points off the board with the kicking game, but we also need to remember BC left a touchdown on the board when Javon Catoy dropped what would have been Nathan Rourke's 4th touchdown pass. So this team was not good enough on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, you asked about it, Joaquin. My question is, what is going on with the play calling? Like, J.C. Sherritt, great young coach, but this is his first year as a CFL defensive coordinator. Edmonton is arguably the best defensive line in the CFL, and they sent a ton of blitzes on Nathan Rourke, and he beat most of them. to me, the reason you have an elite defensive line is so you don't have to send the kitchen sink every play to get pressure. You got to trust those front four. So I'm interested to see, coming off by JC Sherritt as a week to do some self-scouting, evaluate his play calling. I want to see a lot less blitzing from the Elks in week 3. Trust your front four to get home. Demetrius Maxey is a brilliant defensive line coach. Drop 8 into coverage. See if you can have better results, because Nathan Rourke, unfortunately for them, picked them apart in the second half.
Before we move on here, John Hodge from 3 Down Nation joining us here on EST Afternoons. And Mark Killam said after the game, post-game on the TV side, he said, Trey's got to play. And we understand that because the previous regime, as soon as he had a bad quarter or bad game, he was out, right? It was the quick switch. There was no room for growth. How much leash does Trey Ford get here, John, in your opinion here? Because like you said, the next 2 games it's a tough schedule for them. You're right, BC and BC, where they haven't had a lot of success. Nathan Rourke back in the league. And then you home to Montreal, who look like the best team outside, out of week 1. Then you go to Winnipeg, where I think you haven't won in 11, 12 tries, whether it's here or in Winnipeg. Do you think Trey gets a long look here from Mark Killam?
I mean, I'm speculating, but if I'm the Elks, right, you touched on it a little bit at the top here, Hernan. There's not a lot of patience in this market, right? This isn't a team that's made the playoffs the last 4 years and got into a Grey Cup, and they just they're looking for that last kind of step. No, this is a team that has been, unfortunately for them, a sad franchise for a long time now. I mean, they finished strong last year. They won 7 regular season games. That was some improvement. But that was not enough to bring fans back to Commonwealth Stadium in droves. This has to be a playoff team. I think everybody knows that. So with all the additions that were made, I do think it's a good coaching staff they've got in Edmonton. I think they've got a ton of talent on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, again, I think there is still a ceiling here for Trey Ford. The run game was brilliant last year. That was not brilliant week 1. And I do think there's some bad luck. You touched on scheduling. Going to BC is usually not a crazy road trip. It is when they've got Snoop Dogg and 52,000 fans there, right? That is not the week you want to go to Vancouver. And unfortunately, Edmonton drew the short straw and had to go for the concert kickoff game this year, as they have, I know, in the past, at least once. So the schedule is certainly tough, right? You've got Montreal. Montreal is the best team in the CFL to me right now. They're number 1 in a 3 Down power rankings. They were number 1 on my ballot when I submitted those for 3 Down Nation. And then they have to do the toughest road trip in the CFL, in my opinion, which is Winnipeg. A team that generally is considered to have the loudest fans in the CFL and have led the league in attendance the last 3 years. So to me, that is the run-up for Trey Ford. I think you have to give him the first month of the season. I think you have to give him the first 3 games. Even if you're 0-3, I think given the opponents, there might be some understanding, but there has to be improvement, right? If you go out there as Trey Ford and have 2 more performances like you just did with BC, where you didn't really look in touch with your receivers, the timing seemed to be off, you weren't doing enough through the air, there's too much razzle-dazzle, I think there's going to be a lot of people calling week 5 for Cody Fajardo, a guy who, by the way, is the complete opposite of that. To me, Cody Fajardo is the ultimate high floor, low ceiling guy. He's not going to make a lot of throws that blow you away. He's probably past the age where he's going to blow you away with his legs, but he's not going to make many mistakes. He's going to check that ball down. He's going to make smart decisions. He's going to protect it. That's how we won a Grey Cup with the Alouettes in 2023. So to me, I think that would be my timeline if I was the Edmonton Elks. Obviously, I can't speak for Mark Killam, but to me, I think that would be an appropriate timeline. Give him 3 starts, and then you might have to sit him if you don't see improvement. Not necessarily wins, but you got to see improvement, particularly from Ford in particular.
John, looking down south, Calgary Stampeders win their first game against the Ticats. Looking okay, I think. What did you take from their game? And if they do you think they can turn the corner from their season last year?
Well, the Stampeders were 9th on my ballot for power rankings coming into week 1. And I was actually very impressed by what I saw. No, I don't think the Tiger Cats are world beaters, at least not right now. But, Bo Levi Mitchell was a legitimate MOP candidate last year, getting the nomination out of the East Division. And he looked very ordinary, I thought, going to Calgary. Yeah, he had 300 yards. Yeah, he had a touchdown. He threw the ball 50 times, guys. Like, if you let anybody throw the ball 50 times, yeah, they're going to hit 300 yards. It's the CFL. all in all, it was not an impressive performance at all from the Ticats, and I think you have to give the Stampeders at least some credit for that. They had 11 new starters on the defensive side of the ball from week 1 last year, and defensively, they looked pretty darn good. They really slowed down Greg Bell, who I thought showed very well in the second half of last season for the Tabbies in 2024. And offensively, Vernon Adams Jr., ironically, not a very good stat line, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, had a third that came back on a penalty. But man, he was exciting to watch. He really put some energy into that unit. I think his mobility helped that offensive line, took some pressure off of it. You got some nice plays in that receiving core from Jalen Philpott, from Reggie Begelton. And then you actually had a lot of success in the red zone, something that BC wasn't able to do with their short yardage team on the West Coast. Calgary goes out there and they got 3 touchdowns from their starting running back, Cedric Mills. So I really liked what I saw from the Stamps in week 1. I did go back, by the way, and look, they won week 1 last year too. We all know how that turned out. So I wouldn't get crazy high on the Stampeders yet. They're going into Toronto this week. I think that's a good test for them. It doesn't appear likely that Chad Kelly will play, but you never know. If they draw Nick Arbuckle, I think that's a very winnable game for the Calgary Stampeders. And wouldn't a 2-0 start look nice for them coming off a really poor season a year ago?
Last one for you here, John. Great stuff as always. Love talking CFL. Ottawa, Drew Brown status kind of up in the air after that shot he took late in the Riders game there. What are you hearing on that front? And then I guess on the Riders side, Kadeem Carey signs. They're a great pickup for them, but sounds like Gage Ouellette probably heading to the 6th game. This is why this move is made. What have you made of these 2 teams after week 1?
Well, interestingly, the reports out of Rider camp today were that AJ Ouellette practiced, and Kadeem Carey is formally on the practice roster. So it's possible that Ouellette could play this week. It's also possible this is all gamesmanship.
Yeah.
Right. Corey Mace last week proudly said, I fully expect Jacob Brammer to play. And then he didn't. Right. So we don't know with these teams until they have to declare. They are not only willing to lie sometimes, but they will go out of their way to play the gamesmanship angle. And by the way, that's not a criticism, I'm not blaming them for that. They do what they do to try to win the game.
Yeah.
But right now it looks like AJ Ouellette could play. On the flip side, the reports out of Red Blacks camp yesterday was that Drew Brown was not ruled out. On the injury report, which I read, he was formally listed as limited.
Yeah.
The 3 designations you could have are non-participant, full participant, or limited. Limited can mean almost anything. It can mean you played 90% of practice. It can mean you played 10% of practice. So your guess is as good as mine as to whether or not he'll play. The one thing I will say is without Drew Brown this season, the Red Blacks are probably dead in the water. So to me, to risk him playing in week 2 if he's not 100% does not make a lot of sense. It's week 2. It's the East Division. There's a good chance 3 of those 4 teams are going to make the playoffs. To me, and the Red Blacks have done this previously, if he's 50-50, you may as well play it safe, keep him out. I think that would be the smart thing to do. But again, I'm not in their locker room. I can't speak to what his status is. So I'm speculating there a little bit, but we'll see. It should be a good game between the Red Blacks this week as they take on their visitors in their home opener. Montreal's coming to town. That's going to be a big matchup. And then, you mentioned Kadeem Carey. I think the Riders are going to win in Hamilton this week, regardless of who's starting at running back. Personally, I think Kadeem Carey is a better running back than AJ Ouellette. But at the same time, with the new body that he's got, right, having lost a bunch of weight this offseason, coming in all cut up, I think AJ Ouellette maybe deserves more of an opportunity to at least show that he can play, show that he can be productive before they run and give the reins to Kadeem Carey or Mario Anderson or Thomas Bertrand-Dudon, the other running backs they have there. So I'm interested to see what unfolds there in Riderville.
I'm just blown away that he's practicing because that hit was, you can tell he was a bit knocked out, like not completely. And, he kind of went, he had the arm straight and all that and was a little wobbly when he got up. But we'll see. I lied. I got one more for you. Of course, we got to talk Bombers. Had the week 1 bye. No Zach Collaros for the first game, and they get the Nathan Rourke feeling pretty damn good. This game's probably the game of the week for me, even with Zach Collaros out of it. I know the betting lines are very close. Winnipeg's so good at home. They're a veteran team. They know how to get it done. What do you make of this game without Zach Collaros and with the emergence of Nathan Rourke?
I'll just quickly say the Red Blacks just filed their injury report today. Drew Brown limited again on Tuesday, so take that for what it's worth. Getting to the Blue Bombers, I mean, the crowd is going to be a huge advantage for this team. It looks like a beautiful night in Winnipeg. I'm very excited to be there for this game. Looking like the game's going to be sold out. It's going to be a great atmosphere. That's going to be an added challenge for the BC Lions. That being said, I mean, Zach Collaros is a hugely important part of this team. Yes, Chris Streveler won his lone start last year, but he also threw for like $160 in that game. He really won that game. The Ottawa Red Blacks were in town running the football, having Brady Oliveira tote the rock. And I would imagine that is going to be a similar game plan for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers under new offensive coordinator Jason Hogan, who was in fact the team's running backs coach the last few years, obviously loves to run the ball. That said, he was a collegiate quarterback, has coached the quarterback position in the past at the U Sports level. So I'm also interested to see what Jason Hogan has cooked up in the passing game, whether it's Collaros, whether it's Streveler at the position. I'm sure he's going to want to put the ball in the air at times. For the BC Lions, I think you're expecting to come in and score some points. Yeah. That being said, Winnipeg's defense was number one in a lot of categories last year, and I actually think their defense is better this year than it was last year. They added James Vaughters opposite Willie Jefferson. I think there's more balance on that D-line. I think their linebacking depth is way better than it was a year ago. They've got Jonathan Jones from Toronto, Connor Shea, their first-round pick, dressing as backups there to mix and match as part of Jordan Younger's positional needs. And then in the secondary, Brandon Alexander, no longer with the team at safety. I think they're going to miss some physicality from him, but I think Jamal Parker, who's expected to start week one, brings a lot better coverage skills and more speed on the back end. So I think the defense could really be tough. That said, I mean, Nathan Rourke is my pick for MOP for a reason. He was number one on my top 50 players ballot for a reason. I'm the only member of the media, apparently, put him number one on the ballot. After week one, I'm feeling pretty good. Now, if he throws for 4 picks in Winnipeg, I'm going to feel pretty stupid about that. But right now, I'm feeling good about that pick. Personally, I've got the Lions by a little bit to win this game. Okay. But if there's ever a game that's tough to come into, right? Like the weather being good, I think helps BC. BC's coming for a couple West Finals recently, not played well. The weather's going to be nice. That'll help them. But when you've got 32,500 screaming fans on while you're trying to operate that huddle, that's going to be tough for Nathan Rourke to overcome. So I think they get it done, but I think it's going to be a close game. And I agree with you. I think this is the game of the week. I think it's going to be a really good one, especially with Winnipeg coming off a bye, right? Like week one bye, I do think there's an advantage there because you have an opportunity to sit back and watch everybody else's film. Yeah. Nobody's seen your film yet. So you've had more time to practice. That could be an advantage. Obviously, though, losing Zach Collaros, a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be another great week. I can't wait. And of course, the Elks return next Thursday to host the Montreal Alouettes. Davis Alexander looking like the real deal there. John, great stuff. Thank you for the recap and the breakdown. I'm sure we'll have you on throughout the CFL season.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
That's John Hodge from 3 Down Nation. It's a great breakdown.
Holy smokes!
Yeah. And listen, it's hard to hear. Like I'm a Trey guy. I know him. I was with him for 3 years. I'm extremely biased. I believe in Trey. I think he will figure it out. But John brought the facts. So.
I like how he broke that down. The differences between Rourke and Ford. Right. It's interesting.
It is. And Trey's got a ways to go to get to where Rourke is.
Yeah, I just wondered, like, I obviously I didn't know that information about how, their journeys to where they are right now, but Trey's kind of getting fed information from a fire hose, being the guy.
Yeah.
And trying to learn, new offensive book.
A lot of new players.
And just the timing of it all.
Yeah,
as John laid out.
Well, that's why I listen. I think Trey's going to get better every game. It's going to be up and down. Yeah. There's going to be some rough games. He's going to be brilliant in others. And what I like about Killam is that he's sticking with them. And he said he has to play. And I like that because the previous regime probably would have pulled the chute right away.
Oh yeah,
and moved on. So you got to let these young guys grow. So don't give up on the green and gold or on Trey Ford. I think they're going to bounce back nicely. I think they're going to get some wins here early on. Okay, we got to get out of here because we have one segment left. Then the great Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne will jump on. They have Gene Principe on.
What?
Who we need to get some sunblock for. We love Gene.
SPF 8 billion.
We love Gene. But we're worried about them because, too much sun, it seemed, in Florida yesterday. But they're going to have a loaded show for you from 3 to 6. Keep slamming that thumbs up. We're close to 100, so we're getting up there. We'll close it out with some fun stuff here coming up in the final segment. Yes, Jen, we will talk about food. Here's Kubusch Sports Update.
Following the scrum at the end of last night's Game 3 loss for the Oilers against the Panthers, Edmonton's Jake Wallman has been fined $10,000 for roughing Matthew Tkachuk of the Panthers, while also being guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct from an incident in front of the Panthers bench. And after posting over 900 rushing yards with 9 touchdowns in 13 games with the Chargers last season, 26-year-old J.K. Dobbins has signed a 1-year contract with the Broncos worth just over $5 million. MLB action has Toronto and St. Louis playing once again. Jays picking up a 5-4 win yesterday in their series opener. First pitch for that one goes at 5:45. Chris Bassett gets the ball for Toronto. Miles Michaelis, the man for St. Louis. And the Riverhawks are on the road in Kelowna to face the Falcons. Edmonton sitting 4th in the North Division, 4-2 on the season, while Kelowna is 2-7 in the early going. Listen to the game on any of EST's audio streams. Coverage for that one starts at 7:35. Basketball action has Edmonton hosting Ottawa in the Hive. They hit the court at 7. And boxing news sees a blockbuster fight scheduled in early September between Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. The undisputed super middleweight championship is on the line. The final segment of EST Afternoons brings us back after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Koob, and you're up to date.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
I in no way believe that the losing team in this series will fall because they crack mentally or emotionally. And already, both teams have suffered crushing losses. So it's going to come down to these fine details, late game execution. I think the Oilers' A game might be a little bit better than the Panthers' A game. But is the Panthers' B game better than the Oilers?
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, weekday afternoon 3 to 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Back. All right, 2:49 here, 2:48. EST Afternoon. It's been a fun show. Listen, yes, the Oilers got their butt kicks. I know we all have different opinions on what happened, but as long as we keep it respectful, we'll always have a good conversation on this show. How can you not without
I say just imagine all this heartache and pain, and then if
it's going to feel so good when they win.
7 games. We said 7, right? I said they'd lose in 7, but 7 regardless. But if your beloved Edmonton Oilers are victorious in Game 7 at home, OT, Troy Stetcher with the game winner.
Jeez, stop. Hey, did you know the afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino? Check out Tap 25 Restaurant. You can get the prime rib special for just $18.99. 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Joaquin, some interesting tidbits here.
All right.
The film Octopussy was released in U.S. theaters on this day in 1983. Roger Moore.
Yeah.
One of the best. The best Bond for me, Roger.
Yeah, but you haven't watched the Daniel Craig ones.
They can't be as good.
They're different. But I'll give it to you. I liked Roger Moore first. And then Sean Connery. I liked what was the gold one? Not GoldenEye, but not the Golden Gun. Who was when he robbed Fort Knox?
I have no idea.
Come on.
So this movie was the 13th James Bond film and the 6th for Roger Moore.
Goldfinger.
I
kept wanting to say Gold Member, but that was Austin Powers.
All right. It's also National Egg Roll Day. Are you an egg roll guy?
Yeah. Remember we got Dusty to eat one.
Yeah, that's right. Egg roll or spring rolls?
Oh, what's the difference?
It's a good question. I have no idea what the difference is.
Probably no egg in a spring roll? I'm not sure.
Well, they're shaped differently, that's for sure, but they seem very similar to me.
Yeah, it's like a pastry around it, right? An egg roll.
Egg rolls have thicker skin and utilize a wonton
noodle. Yeah.
Thick yeast dough wrapper. Spring rolls have a more delicate, thin skin and use a spring roll wrapper.
Yeah.
More
So the
crispy.
rice paper's different.
When you guys order Chinese food, what's a must in the Gage and the Kubusch household that you always get?
Beef and broccoli.
That's good. I mean,
chicken fried rice is a simple answer. You always have to have
but
rice.
I think that's like almost like a given. The chicken fried rice.
Yeah, that always comes with it, doesn't it?
So like, say you have to pick like a meat side. What's popular at the Kubusch household?
Pepper beef.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
something like that. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had pepper.
Like spicy beef. It's beef and broccoli because you know you're gonna chow down. You need some vegetable in there, and that's always good. The
GF loves the sweet and sour pork.
Yeah,
that's
sweet and sour pork or lemon chicken.
Lemon chicken's good.
Yeah.
Which one's the other? Like, I love chow mein.
Chow mein noodles.
Do you like just the veggies?
Oh yeah, just a straight veggie tray. Yeah, sure. With noodles, we get It's usually we only get it once in a while, and it's most likely going to involve half the family.
Yeah.
Like there's at least 9 people. Then you just because it's the only way to do it because then you can justify buying 9 different dishes.
Well, at my sister's, when we have like certain like events or a birthday or something, sometimes there's a really good Chinese food place in Beaumont.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like you have to order early because they have and their spring rolls are amazing.
Yeah,
there's really not ginger beef. I'm not big on. I don't mind it.
Beef.
I don't mind it.
Yeah,
but you like the chicken balls?
Yeah, I do with the sweet and sour sauce. They're great.
There's really nothing I don't like when it comes to.
I know.
To ordering.
We should go for dim sum one time though.
Dim sum's a little. I've only had it once. I wasn't a big fan. But again, I didn't really know what to order, so I was kind of like,
okay.
So like, I need to go with someone that's actually.
I mean, I haven't been in decades, but
what's the place called in Beaumont, Hernan? Ooh, Golden Palace, maybe. I don't know.
I go in my neck of the woods. Good Buddy. It's great.
There's one downtown called Blue something. We get it when we order just here in downtown. It's really good.
Have you tried the PF Chang's at all?
No, I haven't.
I wasn't a fan.
No.
Well, they just opened too, so I wasn't. I was all hopped up on excitement because it's supposed to be their lettuce wraps or kind of their signature, and I've had better lettuce wraps.
Yeah. Everybody's
ginger beef, lemon chicken with those bamboo shoots. Yeah, those are good.
Sean Connery, Golden Finger. Dr. John says. Dr. Chen says Roger Moore is good, but he's no pony boy. Well, that's true.
PF Chang's is overrated and overpriced. Yeah, Joe, I would have to agree.
Max Bezzuza says Jumbo Dim Sum is near EST office. You're right, because I used to work here back in my 20s at a warehouse, and that's where we went. We went with work people. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I was fairly new to it, so I didn't really know what to eat, and then the chicken.
I like the
chicken
steamed
feet kind of creep me out. So, but I've heard it. Like I heard it's good. Like,
I eat it all the time. Well, not all the time anymore. As a kid, my mom put all that stuff in front of me.
That's good. No, Chinese food is where it's at, man. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah. What about the soup? Do you grab a soup too?
Wonton soup? Do you ever had a war wonton
Oh,
soup?
yeah. That's what I go with because it's got all the veggies in there.
Yeah, it's got the shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
War wonton's the way to go. Or a hot and sour soup. Or a egg, or what's it called? Egg flour soup.
There's a place in the south side called Mini Mango. Their war wonton soup's probably the best I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
There was a place in Bonnie Doon where I used to go, and it would just be so big. Like I felt like going to sleep right after it because it was so much liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like pho, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love pho.
Oh, yeah.
I love ramen. Have you had ramen?
I haven't gone to like an actual ramen place.
I'll send you a few places
Okay.
that are really good.
There's one on Wide Ave that's absolutely insane.
I saw that
it's a
one.
little tucked away.
I gotta go try that.
Bronco Nick Saiwu is the best at 2 a.m. I used to go to Saiwu back in my younger days. Yeah. I remember that.
You know what else is good at 2 a.m., Bronco? Everything else, probably.
7-Eleven, hot dog, nachos.
Doesn't really matter at that point.
Hey, we're 6 away from 100. We got like 20 seconds. Let's get to 100. Slam that thumbs up for National Egg Roll Day. It's also National Iced Tea Day, and you just had an iced tea.
Oh, I had a splash of iced tea.
You know what? For the air fryer, there's a lot of stuff we can bring, like spring rolls.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like stuff like that. So
there's
it'd be great.
Well,
nice fish.
No.
All right, it's been a fun show. Like always, we thank you for listening, for watching us. Hammer that thumbs up. Let's get to 100. Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne coming up here. I know you're a little bit down, but we got 2 days to recover and get ready for Game 4. It's going to be great. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. For Zach Kubusch, Joaquin Gage, I'm Hernan Salas saying thank you for your viewership and for listening. We love you.
And your
Chowders.
friendship. Your friendship, too.
Your friendship.